Today, I'm going to try to give a little bit of the basics on doing your first disc detainer lock. I'm going to be using the Sparrow tool. I have slightly modified. I've put an O-ring to help me keep track of my depths. Also, depending on what lock you're using, if you're unaware, you can actually loosen these two handles up and you can change the depth of your top tensioner. For the lock we're using today, it's actually still too deep even at the shallowest spot. So I will show you the basics. This lock, you're wanting the tension off the very first disc. Right now where it's at, it'll actually reach down to the second one down in there. I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but what I have figured out to do is I will get my lock clamped in, get it as level as I can, and I will get the some washers. Now I believe I've done this enough times, it's just some standard washers. I believe this lock takes 3 washers. Put them on. Get the tool lined up. And actually this one might only be 2. Another thing I do when I'm getting it all set up is I bring the pick below. I'll move my O-ring all the way to the bottom so there's tension on it. Put my finger up here and push just enough to get the tip sitting on top here. Just so it's sitting there. At that point, I will try to find my tensioning point. All right, so I'm in. I'm gonna go the opposite way that I've turned them all, because you turn them all clockwise to start with. And I'm just trying to see if I'm only moving the top disc. So I am. So the right depth with this one is 2. You do want to make sure before you start with your lock, you have all the discs clockwise, which they are now. Okay, so clockwise, tools in. One thing I've learned is I was briefing on it, putting all this tension, and what will happen is that when you're trying to move the discs, they're super, super firm. So I got the O-ring down here to keep track. Right there's my first disc. I moved this because I through the window, so it's got an open spot. So with that said, I'll move that up. I know where my first disc is, it's right above me. I'll hold a little tension, nothing crazy, and I'll spin this till I get the opening. Once I find that opening, I come up just a hair and get the tool to hit the disc. Slowly rotate. Now I have major tension on this one right now, all the way. So that is not good. So I'm going to return that disc. It did not find a gate. It leaves a little bit of tension because it's so stiff. Oop, that click. So this one is 0 cut because there's nothing there. It's right at the starting point. So I'm gonna get right above that disc. So I know I'm past the first one. I'll move this up to the next one. what I did is I went through the gap, went over, and I got the tool sitting right against the next disc. So now I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna find the opening, got it, and I'm gonna slowly move it until I feel, yep, there it goes, where it jumps. So now that one's where it needs to be. I'm moving the O-ring up again, get myself against the next disc, and we're gonna try this again. But that didn't go anywhere. That's a very small movement for that lock then. We're in another opening. Right on, it's just not grabbing very well. And that's the only downside too, with the washers and everything. You can kind of get off center. Let me go down one, something just feels weird. So right on it, right on it, there we go. Super stiff, but just release the tension just a little bit. Find your disc again. Try resetting that disc. Okay, disc is reset. Sliding off, and that's what's going on there. That click isn't set, it's me sliding off. That one, so more like a set there. Okay, so here we go. We actually got an open, but sometimes when you have it all the way, but it's just on the edge, maybe it hasn't completely fallen in the gate, you can wiggle the tool and it'll let it drop into the bar, everything opens up, and away you go. Hopefully that helps, but all basics with this tool, for me anyway. Get some washers to help shim it. Make sure this is resting on the very top disc, not the second one. The rubber band helps keep you in place. And just slowly work at it. You'll start feeling the free up and whatnot. When it frees up, we'll go on to the next disc. And just keep trying that just for the basics. You know, find some inexpensive basic locks. That is an Amazon find. This is another Amazon find. This one as well. Great beginner locks to mess with, to learn this stuff on. So good luck. Talk to you guys later.